Hi Ajit, welcome back to CC. We keep coming back to you to get all the GAN that we need to know to understand this very fascinating world of cryptocurrency. First, take us through your top 5 reasons on why market is behaving the way it is.
The one reason that encapsulates all my top 5 reasons, frankly, is that like many other speculative assets, Bitcoin over-exaggerates on the upside and the downside. On 21st November last year, the price of Bitcoin was 18,600. It's 56,800 right now as we are talking. So that is 3 times. So this exuberance has caused definitely positions to build up, and these positions often in the crypto market are leveraged, where a person puts in, let's say, 1,000 rupees, but buys Bitcoin worth, let's say, 10,000 rupees. And when the interest rate or the cost of carry goes too high, the people have to unwind their positions, often at a loss. So all of my 5 reasons, such as international news, FUD, that is fear, uncertainty, doubt arising on the regulatory front, the liquidity being probably constrained by central bankers, all of those come down to this, that we are now having to close our positions and reduce our exuberance.
Right. So it was quite a paradox, right, Ajit? Because in India, if you look at it, not a big player, not a big influence when it comes to pricing just yet. Let's just say that to be very clear. On regulation front, we did pretty well this week. This is a huge step forward, and then the market's behaving the way they are. Would you say this is a good buying opportunity?
So I think we are close to a good buying opportunity, as in I'm not giving financial advice, of course, but if you were to look at me, I have over the last few days moved from, actually last one day really, moved a little bit from positions into stable coin, waiting for the price to become a little better. And if I may just, you of course have to take a view that when the Indian regulatory impact comes in, what will it be like? But if you feel that there might be even a momentary dump, you could be holding some of your money on Indian exchanges to capture that opportunity.
I see. But I want to talk a little more about Bitcoin halving as well. Not a lot of people understand this concept of how the mining works. But quickly for our viewers, really simply put, Bitcoin, like any other cryptocurrency, is created through mining, right? You know that by now. We've told you and done several explainers on that. The reward for mining, that is the number of Bitcoin a miner actually earns for successful authentication, is set. However, every 4 years, this reward is halved in number. Are we in the same time in the cycle, Ajit, and this could be an impact because of the halving?
So the thing is that the last halving occurred a little over a year ago in May 2020, and the next one is in 2024. So we are not close to any halving. Having said that, what tends to happen is that people know almost exactly when the halving will happen, so they start reacting to it in advance. So, for example, now that every new block of Bitcoin, which comes up every 10 minutes or so, is creating 6.5 new Bitcoin, which will become 3.75, which means for all practical purposes, all the Bitcoin that had to ever be created has already been created. I have done a research before this program as to what happened in the previous halvings. And I saw that in the first halving, which was November 12, the Bitcoin price shot up after the halving.
Yes.
In the second one, it kind of moved sideways. And in the third one, again, we saw it go up, but not as spectacularly. So what is happening is that I think a second order effect is happening with halving. First, people believe that, the price will go up. As a result, the price goes up in advance of that. Then when the actual event comes, all the price has already gone up and people are like, hey, price will go up, and it doesn't react the same way. So then the negativism comes in, and that leads, so it's all cyclical, frankly.
I see. And last question here, because this is a fascinating one. You're trying to talk about how regulation is linked to Bitcoin pricing globally as well. But then the question really is, Ajit, what happened when the China ban happened, right? We hardly saw any movement in the market. It caused a minor sort of 8% correction in Bitcoin prices in May of 2021.
Isn't it exciting that 8% correction is minor because it's Bitcoin, right? In another market, that would have been a devastating bloodbath. Having said that, I think that one of the things that a lot of people who may not have been around for Bitcoin history long enough forget is that this was China's 5th ban of Bitcoin. Some version or the other has been done. And in the crypto community, for people who have seen it, they're like, oh, one more Chinese ban, right? So we did not take it as seriously. We definitely did not take it as a precursor to other governments following suit, because we have watched this movie before. And in any case, China bans Google, Facebook, etc. That doesn't mean that the rest of the world is watching it. So I think that, China ban doesn't hurt. Another regulatory impact, such as India, could be different.
I see. We leave it there for the moment. There's lots more to talk about, especially the big upgrade that came through Taproot as well. But maybe in the next program, we'll pick your brains about that. Thanks, Ajit, for joining us with the very latest.